Hey there, Quiz Donkey crew, Donkey is here. And today we've got the ultimate geography quiz. We've got 60 rounds. Landmarks, flags, country shapes, fill in the blanks, borders, currencies, and more. You've got 10 seconds each round, so stay sharp and think fast. Drop your score in the comments at the end. Let's see who the real geography genius is. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Quiz Donkey family. Alright, are you ready? Let's go! What world is this iconic landmark? Amazing! That's the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. Look at this country shape, Norway, Sweden, or Finland. That long, narrow shape belongs to Norway. Which country does this flag belong to? That maple leaf gives it away, Canada. What currency does Japan use? It's the yen. Don't mix it up with the Korean won. Where in the world is this ancient arena? That's the Colosseum, Rome, Italy, nearly 2,000 years old. Madrid, Barcelona, Lisbon, Seville. Which is the odd one out? It's Lisbon. Madrid, Barcelona, and Seville are all in Spain. Fill in the blank. Think you know this one? That's Australia, one of the world's most famous countries. Would you rather live in Tokyo, Japan, or Paris, France? No right answer here. Comment Tokyo or Paris below. Look at this shape. Long and incredibly thin, hugging the west coast of South America. That's Chile, the longest and narrowest country in the world. Which country does this flag belong to? That's Australia. Fun fact, New Zealand's flag looks almost identical. Which country does not border France? Spain, Switzerland, or Austria? Austria. France borders Spain, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, Belgium, and Luxembourg. Where in the world is this ancient wonder high in the mountains? That's Machu Picchu in Peru, one of the most breathtaking places on Earth. What currency does Brazil use? The real, Brazilian real. Don't confuse it with the peso. Amazon, Nile, Thames, Mississippi. Which is the odd one out? The Thames. The Amazon, Nile, and Mississippi are among the world's longest rivers. Look at this country shape. It looks like a boot. Of course, that's Italy, one of the most recognizable shapes in the world. Fill in the blank. This one should be easy. Japan, the land of the rising sun. Would you rather live in New York, USA, or London, UK? Comment New York or London below. Which city calls to you? 3 horizontal stripes, red, white, and blue. Which European country? The Netherlands. Belgium's stripes are vertical. Easy way to remember. Where in the world is this iconic white marble building? The Taj Mahal, India, built in the 1600s as a symbol of love. How many countries does China border? 12, 14, or 16? 14. China has more land border neighbors than any other country on Earth. Alps, Andes, Rockies, Sahara. Which is the odd one out? The Sahara. The Alps, Andes, and Rockies are mountain ranges. What currency does South Korea use? Yen, yuan, or won? Won. The South Korean won. Don't mix it up with the Japanese yen. 4 main islands make up this country. Which one? That's Japan. Honshu, Hokkaido, Kyushu, and Shikoku. Fill in the blank. Can you crack this one? Brazil, the largest country in South America. Would you rather live in the Maldives or Switzerland? Beach life or mountain life? Comment Maldives or Switzerland below. Where in the world is this famous building on the harbor? Sydney Opera House, Australia, one of the most photographed buildings on the planet. Which country does this flag belong to? South Korea. The Taeguk symbol represents balance. Beautiful design. Which country borders both Brazil and Peru? Bolivia, landlocked right between the two giants. Great geography knowledge if you got that one. Yen, won, baht, euro. Which is the odd one out? Euro. Yen is Japanese, won is Korean, baht is Thai. The euro is from Europe. Look at this massive shape. The world's largest democracy. That's India. Over 1.4 billion people call this home. Fill in the blank. Think fast. Egypt, home of the pyramids, the Nile, and thousands of years of history. What currency does India use? Rupiah, rupee, or rial? Rupee, the Indian rupee. Watch out, Indonesia uses the rupiah. Where in the world is this ancient site on top of a rocky hill? The Acropolis, Athens, Greece. Over 2,500 years old. Would you rather live in Dubai, UAE, or Singapore? Two of the world's most futuristic cities. Comment Dubai or Singapore below. Which country does this flag belong to? Brazil. The green and yellow give it away every time. Which country does Japan border by land? None. Japan is a completely island nation. 0 land borders. Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Mediterranean. Which is the odd one out? Mediterranean. Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian are oceans. The Mediterranean is a sea. Look at this shape. The largest country in South America. Brazil. You can see just how enormous it is from the shape alone. Fill in the blank. You've got this. Mexico. Tacos, ancient pyramids, and the Day of the Dead. What currency does Saudi Arabia use? Dirham, dinar, or rial? Rial. UAE uses the dirham. Kuwait uses the dinar. Where in the world is this incredible ancient temple complex? Angkor Wat, Cambodia, the largest religious monument in the world. Which country does this flag belong to? Kenya. The Maasai shield makes it one of the most distinctive flags in Africa. Would you rather live in Rio de Janeiro or Sydney, Australia? Carnival and beaches or harbor and sunshine? Comment Rio or Sydney below. Which country does not border Russia? Finland, Mongolia, or Sweden? Sweden. Russia borders 14 countries. Finland is one of them, but not Sweden. Look at this shape, the ancient land of pharaohs and pyramids. Egypt. The Sinai Peninsula sticking out to the right is the giveaway. Peru, Chile, Bolivia, Mexico. Which is the odd one out? Mexico. Peru, Chile, and Bolivia are all in South America. Mexico is in North America. Fill in the blank. Don't overthink it. Canada, land of maple syrup, ice hockey, and the Rocky Mountains. Which country uses the krone? Norway? Fun fact, Sweden and Denmark also use their own versions of the krone. Where in the world is this massive unfinished church, over 140 years in the making? The Sagrada Familia, Barcelona, Spain, designed by Antoni Gaudi. A dark blue background with a bold red cross. Which Scandinavian country? Norway. Denmark's flag has a red cross on white. Would you rather live in Iceland or Hawaii? Northern lights and geysers or tropical paradise and volcanoes? The second largest country in the world by area. Which one? Canada. Only Russia is bigger. Fill in the blank. This one's a big country. Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, over 220 million people. Which country borders both India and China? Nepal, the small, landlocked kingdom right between the two giants. Green background with a red circle offset to the left. Which country? Bangladesh. Pakistan's flag also has green, but has a white stripe on the left. Fill in the blank, the tricky one to finish on. Ireland. Don't confuse it with Iceland. A very easy mix-up. What currency does Mexico use? Dollar, peso, or quetzal? Peso. The Mexican peso. The quetzal is Guatemala. Which of these correctly lists countries that border the United States? Canada, Mexico, Cuba, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, or Mexico, Canada? Canada and Mexico. The United States only has 2 land neighbors. Which country does not border Germany? Poland, Austria, or all of them? Trick question. All of them border Germany. Last one. Which currency is officially used in the most countries? US dollar, euro, or British pound? The euro, the official currency of 20 European Union member states. And that is a wrap on the Ultimate Geography quiz. How many did you get right out of 60? Drop your score in the comments. Donkey wants to see who the geography genius is. 0 to 20, keep exploring. The world is a big place. 21 to 40, solid effort. You clearly know your landmarks. 41 to 55, impressive. You've been paying attention. 56 to 60, geography genius. Donkey bows to you. If you had a blast, smash that like button and subscribe so you never miss the next Quiz Donkey challenge. See you next time. Donkey out.